the director and the IC principal of Ghanshyam Das Jalan College welcomes both of you, where you have taken your time and initiative and effort to brief our students on the career that is available to them for in the field of CA. Those who aspire to do, the students who are aspiring to do CA, what are the career options available and how they could be moving ahead. I told my students of the junior college, 11th and 12th standard both, that this is the right age and the right time for you to understand about how they could also go ahead with pursuing CA, which is always the most demanded program all over India. So thank you very much for being here with us to brief our students. But to my dear students, I welcome all of you too, and the faculties, some of them who are attending this program. To my dear students, let me quickly give you a very brief introduction on our two resource persons for today who are going to take you through the career counseling. We have today CA Manish Gadia. He is a chartered accountant and a partner in GMJ and Company Chartered Accountants, and he practices in the field of GST. Currently, he is a member of Western India Regional Council and chairman of Professional Development Committee and Study Circle Coordination Committee. He has co-authored many books like Handbook on Valuation and Handbook on EPC Contracts, both published by the Chamber of Tax Consultants. He has also compiled the budget booklet published by JB Nagar CPE Study Circle of Western India Regional Council for the years 2005 to 2020. His views on GST are regularly telecasted on national TV as well as printed in the newspapers. He has represented before Commissioner of Sales Tax Maharashtra, Finance Minister of Maharashtra, and Union Finance Minister for State in respect of GST. That is a brief introduction about our first resource person, CA Manish Gadia. Our second resource person for today is CA Shrishti Banka. She is a career counselor. CA Shrishti Banka, she is the founder, partner, and the CEO of Banka and Banka CFO Services LLP, where they provide outsourced Chief Financial Officer services. At the age of 25, as an entrepreneur, Shrishti has over 6 years of experience where she has worked with industry leaders and leading multinational companies in finance, law, and accountancy sectors. She has a well-rounded work experience ranging from areas of international taxation, internal audit, direct tax litigation, mergers and acquisitions, due diligence and capital market transactions like IPOs, qualified institutional placements, rights issues, and debt offerings. Shrishti believes in an engaged community citizenship approach and has launched a financial literacy project with two of India's leading non-profit organizations. This is a brief introduction I've given of two of a resource person who are going to counsel you today. And to two of you, I welcome once again on behalf of our management, all our management committee members, and also the college managing committee members. We all join hands to welcome you today, and I pass it on to you. I request the students also at the end of the session, if you have any question to ask, please feel free to get it clarified, because it is you who are going to enroll for the CA program in future. So I wish you all the best, and also you will be briefed that at the end you need to fill the Google form and send it to them. Over to CA Manish Gadia.
Thank you, Dr. Rajeshwari Ravi Madam, for your kind words. And I also thank you for giving us this opportunity to interact with the student. So as Madam has already said that today we are going to discuss about your career, and whatever we are going to discuss about your career, in that whatever decision need to be taken, your parents' roles are very, very, very important. So I request all the students who are attending this uh, webinar through from their home, so that you can request your parent to join and listen what we are going to discuss today. So you are in all have you are all are in junior college. So my first question to all of you is, what is the best course available as far as the commerce is concerned? So you can write in a chat box. Everyone is allowed to write. So according to you, all the students, which are the best course available? Fatima has said CA. Komal also said CA. So only two students aware about which are the best course available. Qureshi said MBA, BBA, CS, PhD. Of course, PhD. So we have Dr. Rajeshwari Ravi. She is a PhD. So of course that is the best course. No doubt about that. So most of the students have written CA. So that's what we are going to discuss, that what CAs are doing, how you can pursue CA, and when you can pursue CA. In detail, my colleague Srishti is going to discuss that. But I will just brief you what CAs are doing. They are doing just accounting, auditing, handling the finance, guiding on taxation. These are the core area as far as the chartered accountants are concerned. But this is not the restrictive one. You have seen that Srishti Banka, who is going to address, is an entrepreneur. So he can also do a business. So you may be aware, or you may have heard a name of Kumar Mangalam Bidla, who is a owner, or you can say a industrialist and a billionaire, coming in top 10 industrialist in India. He is a chartered accountant. Apart from him, you must have heard a name of Piyush Goyal. He is a union railway minister. He is also a chartered accountant. So list is long. If you have your parents are investing in a capital market, so you must have heard a name of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, which is commonly known as Big Bull. He is also a chartered accountant. So I'm just giving you the big name, but I will give you one name which you can correlate with you all student. You must have heard a name of Suman Rao, Miss India 2019 and second runner-up Miss World. She is also a CA student. So CA, and in her interview, one of her interviews, she said that whatever articleship she has done has helped her to reach to this height or to get this award. So even a chartered accountancy course are so important, you can understand the same. This is the only course available across India where there is no reservation at all. When you are going for admission in a school, when you are going for admission in a college, for job, anywhere, you are seeing that there is a reservation. But in CA course, there is no reservation at all. In India, only two courses available where you are getting on-job training. First one is medical and another is chartered accountant. As Dr. Rajeshwari Madam has already said that this is the most valuable course available. So why this course is most valuable? Because in this course, you are getting on-job training for continuously 3 years. So once you come out after your course, you are ready to deliver. Maybe you can start your own practice or you can do a job. So you are ready for that. No training is required at all for doing any job. So this is the best part of it. I will say this is the cheapest professional course available. Srishti will tell you in detail. The total fees is maybe around 77,000 for 5 years course, which you can start after 12th. And the beauty of this course is, as I said, you are getting on-job training. So the person who is giving you on-job training is also giving you a stipend, a money which we call as stipend. So whenever you are going for taking any training, maybe in a school, maybe a coaching classes, or wherever you are going for training, maybe musical class, maybe or any hobby class, there you are paying fees to that class who is giving you a training. But here, the chartered accountant who is going to give you a training is also going to give you money. So whatever stipend you are going to get in a 3-year period, which will be much more than your 77,000 what fees you are going to pay for the entire course. And the value as far as chartered accountant is concerned is you will easily get a job once you become chartered accountant, or you can start your own practice. So I have not seen any chartered accountant struggling for a job. So this is the beauty of this. Once again, I thank Ghanshyam Das, Jalan College, entire management, especially Dr. Rajeshwari Ravi Madam, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you on board, and also that's what I said, giving your valuable time and your efforts also there in briefing our students. So I really thank you because it's our pleasure. I want all my students to be really doing lot many professional courses and do very well in their life. Now, I think, sir, if you have done, are we passing on to CA Shrishti Bamka?
Good morning, Dr. Rajeshwari, ma'am.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for conducting this wonderful session through your Wisdom webinar series. I feel that any college that invests in their students, the students will just reach another level of heights. So thank you for that. Thank you, Dr. Manish Garia, sir, for doing that wonderful introduction. Now, let me jump straight into the session without any further ado. So can I please request my colleague to share the screen? Also, I would really appreciate if we keep the session very interactive. So throughout the session, I want all you students to keep asking questions and on the chat box, and of course keep replying to whatever questions I'm asking you guys. So all right, so let's begin. Next slide, please. Okay, so we've been talking for a while about the chartered accountancy course, right? But what is the body that actually confers this chartered accountancy qualification on you? It is called the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and it is a statutory body established by the Indian Parliament under the Chartered Accountants Act in 1949. It has been in existence for over 70 years, and it is the second largest accounting body in the world. So you can imagine the kind of power this particular institute holds that confers the degree of chartered accountancy. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the learning infrastructure that ICAI offers you. So it has a wonderful human resource staff of 1,133 people. It has 164 branches all over India, right? So we are fortunate enough to be living in a metro city as Mumbai, but ICAI has branches in various other remote places, wherein if you want to pursue your CA, you will have access to registration and various other resources. It also has tie-ups with 34 different foreign chapters. So if you've qualified in India as a CA, you can go ahead and you can practice in any of these other countries where ICAI is a partner. It has about 99 buildings. It has 91 wonderful auditoriums, high-tech auditoriums, which have all the best facilities, and they conduct some amazing conferences and webinars over there. And of course, the entire course is very tech driven. It's very tech friendly. So they have about 163 information technology centers which are fully computer facilitated. Next slide, please. Okay, so like I was telling you guys earlier, that it is the second largest accounting body in the world, right? So what makes it the second largest accounting body in the world? There are about 4 lakh chartered accountants who are a part of this institute, and these 4 lakh members of the institute, they together serve a population of 1.35 billion Indians. So can you just imagine the supply and the demand parity? For serving 1.35 billion Indians, there are only about 4 lakh chartered accountants. So there is a dire need for more CA professionals, and definitely in future also the demand for educated professionals and expert professionals like chartered accountants will only keep increasing. Like Dr. Manish Garia sir told y'all, and like how all of y'all replied in consensus, that CA is the apex most course in commerce. And of course CA coupled with any other course is just like is like adding more feathers to your hat. So we'll talk about that also, that once you've done your CA, what are the other things that you can pursue to upgrade yourself. In a couple of slides we'll come to that. So like I was telling y'all, that ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, has partnered up with various foreign bodies also. For instance, there is a new overseas ICAI office in Singapore for the Asia Pacific region. So there are such other countries, foreign countries, wherein ICAI has partners and it has offices. So you're not just restricted to India, and you're not just going to be practicing in India in future if that's what you wish. At the same time, ICAI has partnered up with Niti Aayog for launching women entrepreneurship platforms. So if you want to be an entrepreneur and you have some innovative ideas, ICAI will support you in that journey as well. And like I said, that they have various other initiatives that they keep doing, like startup summits, and they also have a very wonderful career placement program, which helps young graduates secure very high paying jobs in the top corporates of India. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is very fascinating. Personally, I find it very fascinating because I speak 6 languages, okay, but they are all Indian regional languages. But if I'm sitting here in India and if I'm trying to communicate or coordinate with somebody who is in US, or somebody who's in England or Spain, I may not understand their language, but they understand the financial statements that I prepare. Because there is one common language which binds all the 7 continents, which is accountancy. Accounts and financial statements are uniform all over the world. And the beauty of our profession is that it does not prepare you, like I said, to pursue accountancy or a profession in India. It prepares you to pursue this particular career of accountancy, finance, taxation all over the world. We follow the latest accounting standards, international financial reporting standards, which are universally accepted. So there is one common language that binds all the 7 continents, which is accountancy. Next slide, please. Okay. So why is it that chartered accountants are given so much importance in our society and our economy? After all, you will wonder that what is it that a chartered accountant does, Shrishti? At the end of the day, they just prepare accounts, and they audit whatever accounts are being prepared by individuals and companies. Why are they so important? Anyone can do it. Even a BCom simple graduate can do it. But there is a big difference, because chartered accountants hold the power of auditing, certifying, and attesting any financial statements, audit reports, your income tax returns. The government will only accept these official, very, very important documents if they are certified by a chartered accountant. So, in a way, they partner up in nation building, because CAs act as a bridge between a normal public and the government. You see, the government trusts whatever audited accounts are prepared by a chartered accountant. That is the beauty of it, and that is the kind of power that a chartered accountant holds. And indeed, that power comes with a lot of great responsibility. Next slide, please. Okay, so what what are the benefits? That was all about that. Okay, the nation building aspect of a chartered accountant, but in the end, you also you want to see what is in it for you personally. So, like Dr. Manish Garia sir said, like CA Manish Garia sir said, that no chartered accountant goes without a job or without any good pay. So it is definitely for your economic well-being. It brings you a lot of reputation within the society. It places you on a very high pedestal, so you get a very good social stature. Like I said, that you get a lot of international exposure, and there are various attractive career options that are available for you once you've done your CA. And in the chartered accountancy course, there are three things that we completely swear by. You dream that you can be a CA, you believe that I can be a CA, and you achieve your CA. So if any all the students who are attending the webinar, if becoming a chartered accountant is your goal, I highly urge that y'all should be at the phase of dreaming that we can be a CA. And once you started your journey, y'all should believe that yes, I also can be one. And then finally you'll achieve it. Right? So let's talk about how the registration procedures and how you can go about giving the exams. Next slide, please. Okay, so the chartered accountancy course, this slide is actually very, very important. So I'm going to request that whoever of you are planning to register for it, just take a quick screenshot of this slide, because it tells you the various procedures that are applicable for you to become a chartered accountant. Okay, so I'm just giving you all 1 minute to take a screenshot. If y'all are done, then just write a yes on the chat box. So I'll continue. Okay, awesome. So, great. So, the chartered accountancy course, there are two ways to become a CA. Okay, let's talk about the first way, the most conventional, the most popular, and the one that I personally recommend. So it's called the foundation route. So once you give your class 12th exams, you register with ICAI to appear for the foundation exams till June 30th or till December 31st. Okay, so if you register for the exam by June 31st, June 30th, you can give the exam in November of the same year. But suppose if you register by December 31st, you can give the exam in the May of the next year, of the following year. But let me tell you, you'll be eligible only after giving your class 12th exams. Okay. So now once you've qualified for your foundation, you register for the intermediate course, which is the second level. Once you've registered for the intermediate course, you have to undergo 4 weeks of IT training, which is a practical training that prepares you in various things that you'll use on a daily basis, like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Tally, and these softwares. As students, we may have used them at some point or the other for our school projects, but we don't necessarily have the proficiency. So this wonderful 4 weeks of practical training prepares you for that, because what comes next is the practical training. Right, so you've registered for the intermediate exams, you've appeared and you've passed either of the groups or both the groups, which is wonderful. Then you begin your 3 years of practical training under ICAI. Okay, so the moment you pass both the groups of your intermediate, you can register for the final course. uh, in the last 2 years of your practical training, you undergo 4 weeks of advanced IT training. So this is an advanced level of what you have done before. Uh, once you're done with your practical training, with your mandatory IT trainings, you can appear for the final exam, and you qualify as a CA, and you become a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So this is the conventional route, and this is the one that I highly recommend, because you can start immediately after your 12th. Right, so I hope that this is clear to all of y'all. um, do y'all have any questions here for this foundation route? If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and ask in the chat box. Okay, so great. So the second option is a direct entry route that is for graduates. Okay, so at some point, at some of us, we are not very clear what is it that we want to pursue after 12. You are still figuring out multiple things. So if you're a commerce graduate, or if you're a postgraduate in commerce, or if you're any other graduate, if you're graduate in any other field, you should have had at least a 55% in your final exams, graduation exams from commerce or any other field, than 60%. And you can skip the foundation route. So you register directly for the intermediate course, which is the second level, and then the procedure is the same. You undergo your 4 weeks of practical training. You register for you sorry 4 weeks of IT training. You go through your practical training, you register for your final exams, you do advanced training, and then you become a CA. So the only thing here is that you don't get to give the foundation exam, because you're giving it post graduation. So they expect that you already have a basic foundation level of knowledge in commerce. So this is for BCom graduates, but also if you're an intermediate student, I saw in the chat box that a lot of y'all mentioned CS also. So if you're an intermediate student of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India or the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, even then you are exempted from giving the foundation course. Okay, next slide, please. Great. So yeah, like CA Manish Garia sir told you all earlier, that the CA course is actually the cheapest course with the highest returns. And believe me, that is 100% true. All the other professional courses, they require you to invest lakhs of rupees for as college fees, or as various placement fees, and just a lot of other expenditure. But in CA there is no such thing. You just pay for two things. You pay to give the exam, and you pay for the study material. That's it. So let's see how the fee is broken down. At the foundation level, you have to pay for the registration fees and all of that, which comes to 9,200. At the intermediate course, once again you pay the registration fees and various other minor amounts, which comes to 18,000. You move on to the final level. You once again pay just the registration fees, which is 22,000. Now, what are these other fees that I mentioned? So remember the IT training courses that were mandatory. You need to pay a small amount to undergo those. So which is on an average about 7,000, and the total fees that all of this comes up to is 77,200. That's the only amount that you spend to get your CA degree, 77,200. Whereas against that, when you're doing your practical training, your stipend for all the 3 years comes to 92,000. So you can imagine that whilst you're studying, you've already started to recover whatever investment you've done, and over and above that investment, right? So next slide, please. Okay. So what is the mantra of becoming a chartered accountant? Do I have to be a school topper, ma'am? Do I have to be really strong at math? And do I have to be very good at accounting? Should I have had 90% plus in my 12th, in my 10th? These are all myths. Let me tell you, none of that is true. The only two things that you need that really help you become a chartered accountant are hard work and dedication. And when I say hard work, it is truly hard work, because you have to devote 6 months, 4 months of dedicated studies at various levels, and only then you can crack your chartered accountancy exams. You don't have to be extra genius or anything of that sort. Okay, if anyone tells you otherwise, they're wrong. It only requires hard work, and I'm sure that Manish Gadia sir will agree with me on this. He's a senior chartered accountant, and he can attest to the fact that the course only requires hard work and nothing else. Next slide, please. Okay, so what are the various opportunities for you once you've done your CA? So you can either open your own practice, and you can be a practicing chartered accountant. You can take up job or employment in any of the big fours or in any industries. You can be an entrepreneur. You can have your own business, or you can pursue further studies like UPSC UPSC exams or management like MBA exams and so on. Okay, next slide, please. Right. So there's one thing which is really unique about the CA course, and the beauty of and that is that the course offers you practical training experience at a very young age. Okay, when you're merely 18, 19, you have to undergo practical training of 3 years, which truly is very very unique because there's no other course that offers that. So I actually, when I'm speaking, it's been about 8 years since I underwent my training. So I want you all to get a real time perspective from a student who's right now undergoing his articleship training, to talk to you all about his experience, so that I'm sure that y'all can get first hand a student's experience. So I'm going to quickly invite my colleague Rishi, who's right now doing his articleship from Banca and Banca Chartered Accountants. So Rishi, if you can just talk to the students and tell them quickly about your articleship experience.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor for me to share my experience with you all, with the students of such a prestigious college. I completed my intermediate examination and successfully registered for my articleship. This year in 2021, I'll be completing my articleship, the 3 years of articleship successfully. So I would like to share my experience. Three things that I think that my articleship has taught me, or the articleship experience has given me the confidence. One of them is getting to know about different industries. There has been industries like pharmaceutical industry, telecommunication industry, entertainment industry, which I never knew before. But because of my articleship training, because of my principal giving me the advantage, giving me the opportunities to go to the client, to see their finances, to understand their business, to understand the functioning of their business, helped me a lot. Secondly, when I say is articleship is so important, why? Because my networking that I had with my fellow interns, all of them, in future, if I want to practice, or if I want to do a job, or if I want to be an entrepreneur, all my fellow interns will help me out, because there's a big bond. There's a there's a nice bond that we curate together. And when my articleship started, there's a myth that we just need to check we just need to audit the articles will only be allowed to audit and all. But that was not with fortunately, with my firm, we had an intern development program that not only helped in my practical training but also helped in my soft skills. We had trainings for confidence, we had training for team building, we had training for leadership. And that, I think, the entire package that the CA curriculum gives us is very important. Also, my practicalship training told me and helped me that in my final examination, whenever you study the 8 subjects that we have in our final examinations, all of them can be so practically inculcated in the day-to-day life that it's really advantageous. There are papers nowadays that the institute are setting up papers that are more practical and that will help us in the more future life, in the more future aspects of our growth. So these are the three things that I feel my articleship has taught me. Apart from that, in the end, I like to conclude that CA is a journey that for me it started as a normal pace guy, but as I am now completing it, I'm very thankful that I did my articleship at a proper place. I culminated all the ITT, advanced ITT trainings, the GMCS and everything. And after qualifying, I will really cherish the days of my articleship, and I will really recommend everybody of you all to complete your articleship in such a successful manner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rishi, for sharing your experience. I think that was really nice and that was very authentic. And that is the perspective that I wanted y'all to have. I wanted y'all to learn to actually get a student's perspective. So, like Rishi mentioned, that an articleship training will prepare you on 3 fronts. Number one, it will help you develop your soft skills. So, it will make you a better communicator and a better leader. It will make you a good professional and give you a sense of collaboration and consensus building in whatever that you do. Second, it will give you a very good industry and technical exposure at a very young age. And third is that it will help you get a very strong professional network wherever you do your articleship. right? So I personally, I had done my articleship at EY, Ernst and Young, which is a big four, and I'm so grateful for that experience, because at the mere age of 13, I was thrown in to deal with challenges of on my own, to deal with companies, CEOs and executives. That definitely, it was not easy. I fumbled a lot in the beginning, but once you overcome that, there's nothing but growth for you, right? So that was what really makes the CA course unique, the articleship training. Now, what are the various avenues in commerce that a CA can function in? So this again, I want you all to listen very carefully, very intently, because this is something that you all can personally decide that this is where my interest lies, right? So you can be an entrepreneur, you can run your own business. So if you all have any business ideas, or if you all have any family business, pursuing your CA course will equip you all the more to take your business further, right? Next thing is that information technology consulting. So if you have a knack for technology, or if you are a tech buff, you can go ahead and you can pursue IT consulting. It is once again a very up and coming field. You can be an advisor, a consultant, and you can offer your advisory services, and these services can be in any area within financial services. So it can be auditing, assurance, it can be taxation, it can be companies advisory, um, literally anything, and anything within the financial services gambit, you can be an advisor in. You can do advanced finance and economics. So if you really want to be an investment manager or an investment banker, or work in a PE, then you can pursue any of these advanced finance courses. And at the same time, you can pursue the CFA Chartered Financial Analyst certification, once you've done with your CA, to get that added level of expertise in your finance profession, right? Next is that management consultancy services. You can work with any of the top management consultancy firms of the world, like McKinsey, BCG, Bain, AT Kearney, and so on, Deloitte, KPMG. So, what is it that a management consultant does? These management consultants solve companies' problems. So, if I'm, say, a Tata, or if I'm a Reliance, and I'm looking to launch a new product within in a completely new market, and I don't know how to do it. I just know that my product works, but I need a strategy. A management consultant will help me do that. If HUL, if one of my products is the sales are falling down, a management consultant will help me analyze why is it that the sales are going down. So essentially, you solve companies' various problems. Like I said, you can be a businessman, you can be in the government, like Mr. Piyush Goyal. You can be a union cabinet minister, you can take up various positions within the government, like you can be a finance minister or a railway minister. There is no such boundary. Or you can be an academician, like your dear Dr. Rajshri ma'am. You can also enlighten young students to pursue the brightest and whatever is appropriate for them, and you can guide students further, right? So next slide, please. Okay. So remember we talked about that the minimum stipend that you are paid is 92,000. So this gives you a screenshot of what is the exact amounts that you are paid. So for a city like Mumbai, which has a population of 20 lakh and above, in the first year you are paid 2,000 per month. In the second year you are paid 2,500 per month. In the third year you are paid 3,000 per month. And let me tell you that these are the minimum stipends. Okay, this is just the minimum stipend. When you add up all of these, that comes to 90,000 for 3 years as your total stipend. But once again, I place emphasis on the word minimum, right? So I'll to add some context to that. When I was doing my articleship, in the first month of my first year, I was paid an amount of 12,500. That was my monthly stipend just as a first year article. So you can imagine that what are the industry benchmarks. So once again, it depends on the kind of firm that you're doing your articleship. If you're doing at the big four, then of course the benchmarks will be higher. If you're doing at a medium-sized firm, it will be a little slightly lower than that. But in a sense, this is the minimum stipend which the Institute of Chartered Accountants has set. And it's at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide what kind of firm do you want to do your articleship in. So does anyone have any questions at this point? Y'all are not asking any questions, which means either y'all are understanding everything or y'all are not paying attention. So it's either of the two things. So please, I urge you all to ask some questions. I would love to answer your questions. Okay. Uh, I don't see anything on the chat box. So next slide, please. Right. So, so the good thing about the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and the course is that you really don't have to go and spend long hours in tuitions. A lot of people will tell you to take tuitions and classes and stuff, but personally, I never went through all of that. The reason is that ICAI has some wonderful virtual classes and e-learning facilities on their platform, right? So for all the subjects and for all the topics, ICAI has their own coaching, which is like not exactly coaching, I would say, because it is not chargeable. It's basically like a virtual video of every topic that you can see and you can clear your doubts. So that's a cloud campus facility that ICI offers. So you don't really need to go outside and to understand the topics or go to any tuition classes. Okay, so there's a question from Komal that what is articleship we have to do after 12th or after graduation? So Komal, it's neither after 12th nor after graduation. Articleship is the practical training that I was talking about. So once you've cleared either of the groups of your intermediate course, like we discussed earlier, in that slide that I asked you all to take a screenshot of, you have to go through 3 years of your practical training. Okay, so you clear either of the groups of your intermediate exams and you're eligible for your practical training experience. Next slide, please. So ICI has some wonderful publications for its students and for members. These are just some of them. So it really helps you keep updated with all the latest developments in laws, concerning economy, concerning finance, concerning corporate laws, concerning tax laws. So if there are any, so right now the union budget will come, and then the direct tax laws of the country will see a major shift. So ICI will ensure that as its members, as its students, you are completely updated and completely abreast of what are the recent developments in the in the laws that will help you be a better professional and practice better. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is something very interesting that I want all of you all to take advantage of. So it's called as the ICAI Commerce Wizard Test. So it's a talent search test, okay? And it's essentially a diagnostic test that measures your conceptual understanding in accountancy, right? So to register for the test, you need to go on this link. So it's icaicommercewizard.org. So you all can just take a note of this, and it's available for students of 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and BCom. And so the wonderful thing is that if you're a first prize winner, you get 1 lakh rupees. If you're a second prize winner, you get 50,000 rupees. If you're a third prize winner, you get 25,000 rupees. And apart from that, the top 200 consolation prize winners also get rupees 500. So if you're just a participant, then also you get a certification, you get a participation certificate. And of course, if you're a merit holder, then you get a merit certificate. So I strongly urge all of y'all who are considering a career in accountancy to go ahead and take this test. So you'll know if you have the aptitude and the interest for it. And of course, if you excel, then it's a wonderful opportunity for you, because it's an all India test. So acing such a test adds a lot of value to your profile and to your resume also. Next slide, please. Okay, so the registration fees for the test is 100 rupees. And right now, right now, because of the COVID situation, they have not yet announced the dates for the next test. But I urge all of you all to go on the website and to check whenever they'll announce the revised dates. Uh, and the level 1 exams take place in December and January. So I guess they will declare the dates soon on the website. And these are the various timings for the exam for ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th students. So it's 10 to 11, 12 to 1, and 2 to 3. These are the, so it's just a 1 hour exam. And y'all should definitely go ahead and take this test, all of y'all who are on the webinar. Next slide, please. Okay, so ICAI has a scholarship scheme. So if your parents served in the military, paramilitary, or in the railways, then ICAI offers a scholarship award to 75 meritorious students, right? So 57, they have 75 scholarships in all, and 50 of them are available for military and paramilitary, and 25 of them are available for railway personnel. And the scholarship award adjusts 50% of the course fee at the time of registration. So the entire course fee, 50% of that is borne by ICAI as a way, as a good gesture to salute those who serve and who secure our independent nation's sovereignty, right? But it's also available only for one child per family. So if in case y'all fit this criteria, then I really urge y'all to go ahead and take advantage of this. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this generally students find it very, very interesting, because up till now we've only been talking about how what are the exams like, and how to prepare for the course, and what is the articleship training experience. But this tells you about what exactly lies there for you after you're done with your CA. So like I mentioned, that ICI offers campus placements 2 times a year, and on the campus placements, leading companies and CA firms come and participate. And the average salary that was offered for September to October 2019 recruitment was 9.12 lakhs per annum. So that was just the average salary. And the highest domestic salary was 24 lakhs per annum. So you can truly see that the moment you complete this difficult course, you do get a very good sense of financial security and economic well-being, right? So and these are the latest data, the latest figures that are available. So now in fact, now the 2020 placement figures will be out soon, and I'm sure that this figure will only keep going up. It's only gone up over the years, so that's going to be the trend as well. So do definitely consider this. And if you're a rank holder, then there is really no stopping you. Then you can easily draw these highest domestic salaries of 20 to 24 lakhs. And even if you're not, then the average salary is 9.12. It really depends on what competencies and what kind of background you bring in. So some of the companies that come on the campus placement are PwC, Tata Consultancy Services, Axis Bank, Deloitte, McGuire, Barclays, Federal Bank. All of these are some very big names within the Big Four and within the industry that I'm sure all of y'all have heard of at some point or the other. Next slide, please. So what is the USP of the CA profession? Why is it that CAs are being paid such high salaries? You know, so the reason for that is that, first of all, it's governed by an act of parliament. It's open for people of all streams. It's not just limited to people who are in the commerce field. It's also open to people within arts and science fields as well. It offers opportunities for distance learning. It only awards you on your meritocracy. There is no reservation system. There's no quota system. So the CA course does not really care if you come from a very affluent family background, or if you have any reservation quotas. No, it just considers whether you are a meritorious student or not, whether you have worked hard and cleared the exams. On the basis of that only, you are given the CA designation, right? So then it also has campus placement facilities. You really gain an ability to multitask. So I'll tell you. So I'll give you context for this. When I was doing my CA course, I used to wake up in the morning at 6, go to my college, 6 to 10. At 10:30, I used to reach my articleship place. So 10:30 to 7:30, I used to work in my articleship place. 7:30, I used to come back home and I used to study for the CA final exams. So you can see that it teaches you an ability to multitask, which is very important for any successful professional. You are handling so many things at the same time. You're handling your studies, you're handling your college, and you're handling your work, which is your practical training, your articleship training. So it gives you, from right from a young age, it teaches you very discipline towards life, and it teaches you how to multitask well. At the same time, it's a very standard course. All over India, it's the same course, the same pattern, same exams that are taking place. And like I said, that there are regular updates, right? As a CA, you'll never be outdated, because you'll always be updated with the latest developments in finance laws, in tax laws, corporate laws, and so on. So you'll always stay relevant with what all is happening within the industry and within the economy. Um, CAs serve as a catalyst in forming economic policies, right? So as CAs, as members of the institute, we have a say that this policy is working very well for our clients, for businesses, and this policy is not. So whatever your word is, whatever your feedback is, the government really values that, and you serve as a catalyst for making policies. You are a regulator of the auditing and assurance functions. Like I said, that any audit report needs to be signed by a CA. Only once it's attested by a CA does the government accept it as true and accurate. It's also so unique because it's the only course within the ambit of commerce that gives you an element of theory and practice for 3 years at a stretch. Like Rishi mentioned, that whatever you're studying alongside, you're able to practice that alongside your studies. So if you've studied something in auditing, you'll be able to implement that on a real time basis in your articleship training. Age is no bar when you're doing your CA. Anyone can register for the CA course. It's an equal opportunity for all system, and it has some wonderful cloud campus facilities for students. And like we saw earlier, that there are some very attractive career options in terms of employment. And of course, the thing that we've been stressing over and over again, that it is great learning at minimal cost. It is probably one of the only few courses, like literally one or two courses in India that will offer you such a high return for such a small investment. Next slide, please. So, so once again, if you are a CA, you can contribute to banking and corporate laws, governance, and economic policies. You can participate in social initiatives like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and so on. You can take up leadership positions in the public and the private sectors, right? You can be a CEO, CFO, managing director of private companies or of leading public listed companies. If you go ahead and if you do some research on NSC, BSc, you will see that a lot of the companies, the C-level executives, are the positions are being run by chartered accountants. That is what it prepares you for. You can also manage your own CA practice, and you can offer accounting, auditing, assurance, taxation, and advisory services. You can start a business from scratch, like me, and you can take it to unprecedented heights as an entrepreneur. So, if your passion is doing your own business, then you can do that as well. And of course, if you want a safe and a stable income, then there are some very attractive employment opportunities that offer attractive remunerations. Next slide, please. So a CA signature is very powerful, because as a CA, you will certify the reports under tax audit, company audit, forensic audit, and so on. So these are just some of the areas wherein it is mandatory to get your documents certified by a chartered accountant. And Shri Narendra Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, He once said that your signature is more powerful than the prime minister's, and the government also believes the accounts that are signed by you, right? So that is why your signature is so powerful, because anything and everything that you certify goes directly to the government, and the government believes it to be true. Next slide, please. So once you've done your CA, if you want to continue your education, you can definitely do that. And these are just some of the areas wherein you can pursue higher education. So you're eligible to appear for civil services exams in UPSC, IRS, and so on. Uh, ICAI also has tie-ups with IIMs, particularly IIM Ahmedabad, and they offer residential management courses to help you develop your management and leadership skills. If you feel the need to after doing your CA, you're also eligible to do your PhD in certain Indian universities and IITs. And of course, if you want to gain expertise in any particular field, then ICI offers a lot of certification and post qualification courses, which are actually diplomas. So, for instance, if you want to get expertise in insurance audit, ICI offers a specific post qualification course in insurance audits, and so on. Next slide, please. So these are some of the very prominent chartered accountants who are there at the highest positions in industry and government in India. So CA Piyush Goyal, who's a Union Cabinet Minister in the government of India, he started off as a chartered accountant. Mr. CA Suresh Prabhu, who was a former Union Cabinet Minister, he also was a chartered accountant. CA Kumar Mangalam Birla, the Indian billionaire industrialist and chairman of the Aditya Birla Group. He also started off as a chartered accountant, and he's often quoted saying that what has been the biggest challenge that you faced throughout your business and throughout your career. And he says that my biggest challenge was clearing my CA final exams and undergoing my practicalship training at such a young age. So that experience really prepared him for whatever challenges lied ahead in his career and to take his business to new levels. Next slide, please. So CA Harish Salve, right? The most popular advocate in India, who was the former Solicitor General of India and senior advocate in Supreme Court. He was awarded with the Distinguished Padma Bhushan for his contributions in public services. So right now he may be practicing as a lawyer, but he also started off as a chartered accountant, right? So then we have CA Sudha Balakrishnan, who was the 12th Executive Director of Reserve Bank of India. She was the first ever CFO chosen by the RBI, and she was also a chartered accountant. CA Naina Lal Kidwai, she was the country head of HSBC India, one of the topmost banks in India and in the world. And the bank is run by a chartered accountant. She was also awarded with the Padma Shri Award for her contributions in trade and industry. So you can see that these are some of the various leaders in the respective services, in the respective sectors, and they all started off as a chartered accountant at some point or the other, and they kept building up their expertise in their relevant fields to reach where they are right now. Next slide, please. CA Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. So he's commonly called as the Warren Buffett of India. He's an Indian billionaire investor, and he also started off as a chartered accountant. Then we have CA Rameshwar Thakur, who was a previous Indian Union Minister and a government of Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and so on. He was also the president of ICI from 1966 to 1967. Next slide, please. Okay, great. So I'm going to invite, actually, if there's anyone from the audience who wants to volunteer to read out some quotes from various visionaries and dignitaries, um, please, you can unmute yourself and you can come ahead. I need 2 volunteers for this. So is there anyone who would like to volunteer?
Shrishti, the students are all muted, so they
Okay.
cannot come forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So they cannot unmute themselves, ma'am. Is there an
No,
option?
no. They have to raise their hand who wants to, then we will.
Okay.
They
So
need to raise their hand.
okay. So I'm going to request, if you guys want to volunteer for this wonderful opportunity, please raise your hand so that madam can go ahead and unmute you. You all know how to raise your hand?
Can you at least type in the chat one who wants to read this quote?
So I think there's somebody called Vansh Yadav who's written yes. So if we can unmute him to begin.
And ask him to come on video too.
It's up to him entirely.
Vansh Yadav, you can come on video also. Unmute Vansh Yadav. Yeah, please read out the quote. Vansh, can you read what is written here? Shrishti, I think we go ahead because we have got other meetings also lined up.
Okay, sure.
Please. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Great. So let me just quickly read it out for y'all. So Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the President of India, said that the fast increasing tempo of the industrial and economic development of the country makes it imperative that every chartered accountant should realize that he belongs to a profession which provides the first line of defense to the unwary public against money grabbers and opportunists. Your responsibility in this matter becomes all the greater because of the autonomy which your profession enjoys. So you can see the kind of importance that's placed on our profession by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the President of India. Similarly, quoting Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, who was the President of India, you will help us in maintaining high standards of public behavior by your frank and candid accounting and auditing. It is therefore essential that you maintain high standards, whatever profession you might follow. You should not forget that everyone is an artist in his own line, whether it is in accounting or auditing, writing, or doing the job of a sculptor or a painter, right? So you have to approach your profession as though it is an art form for you. Next slide, please. So these are again some wonderful quotes by some distinguished leaders. And I'm going to skip through because I think we are in lack of time. So let me conclude by reading out a quote from Mr. Ratan Tata of the Tata Group, who's helped a lot in building our great nation. So he said that I need MBAs to run my business, but I need CAs to teach the MBAs how to run the business. So you can see what he has quoted. Because of the expertise of a chartered accountant, they need a chartered accountant to teach the management graduates that this is how you run the business. Whereas the management graduate will come on board and run a business because he has great presentation and communication skills. But at the end of the day, it's a CA's expertise and brain that really does work all the time. So, next slide, please. These are some wonderful motivational stories, and I'll quickly tell you. The first one is about the daughter of an auto rickshaw driver. So she's also, by the way, she resides in Malad. Okay, so she's from a very normal middle class family of 4 members. Her father is an auto rickshaw driver for 2 years, and her mother used to work in a private company. And this young girl, Prema Jaikumar, she stood first on an all India level in the final exams in November 2012. So you can imagine, in spite of the hardships that she had to go through to study, without lack of proper resources, she stood all India rank first in the CA final exams. People struggled just to clear the exams, and she managed to secure the first rank in them. Once again, CA Rajni Gopal, she was the first blind lady chartered accountant. She became India's first visually challenged woman to pass the exams. These exams are notoriously difficult, right? The pass percentages are often as low as 1%. In spite of being blind, she cleared the CA exams. So just hats off and salute to these wonderful people. And that's it from me. And I'm going to thank all of you all for logging in today on behalf of the Career Counseling Directorate of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajshri ma'am, for giving us this opportunity. And thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Shrishti. That was really a wonderful counseling by you. I'm sure my students who all are participating today must have got definitely motivated to enroll for the CA course. And that too, this is the stage where they need to be guided, because they are just, some are in 11th, some are in 12th. So the moment they finish 12th in the month of June, as you said, they can start registering for the foundation course and then take it ahead. And I say that in case, well, Khushi has raised her hand. We will come back to you, Khushi. Just be online. And thanks for clarifying all this. And I think I want you to clarify what Khushi wants to know. And
Sure.
then we, yeah.
So please, whoever has any questions, please go ahead and ask. Also, I'm dropping my LinkedIn connection in the chat box. So y'all can reach out to me. Y'all can send me a message if y'all have any questions regarding CA course or anything else in commerce for that matter. Please go ahead and ask even offline if y'all want to connect. So I'm sending y'all my LinkedIn connection, and y'all can definitely ask me anything. So Khushi, whatever you want to ask, please go ahead.
Khushi, please unmute Khushi if she wants to know something. IT team, please unmute Khushi, who raised her hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, is she unmuted? Khushi, if you're online, please ask the question. You need not have to come on video if you're shy. Yes, ask the question, please, Khushi.
Students are very shy, huh? Nobody is coming in front and asking. Y'all can post on the chat box also if y'all want to ask anything.
I think my students are very shy in asking. Probably they could, on the chat box, write what they want to know. Thank you so much, Rishti. And I'm sure they may have many questions where they could write to you, or even students, you can write to me on the class group that we have WhatsApp. I will get it resolved from her or clear your doubts on that. Now, as a tradition for the students' time and as well as the resource person time, I request Professor Paresh Bhatt, who is a very well-known and favorite of all the students. He teaches accountancy for the students. Over to Paresh for giving the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon, ma'am, to respected speakers, our principal, ma'am, management committee, teachers, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for today's webinar. I, Professor Parish Bhatt, on behalf of Ghanshyamdas Jalan College, would like to propose a vote of thanks to our speakers, CA Shrishti Banka and CA Manish Gadia. We are highly grateful to them for giving their precious and valuable time for this webinar. Thank you, ma'am, for such an enlightening presentation on this professional course and making our students understand the importance of CA and the scope and opportunities that is available after doing CA. Thanks for guiding them for the stages of different CA courses and the fee structure. Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you, sir.
Please go on.
I also would like to show my gratitude to our director and in charge principal, Dr. Rajeshwari Ravi, for taking this initiative of hosting and organizing this wonderful webinar. Thanks to all the participants for attending this meeting. And participants, I request all of you to please fill the feedback form, the link of which is provided in the chat box. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I just would like to address my students just for a minute based on what the resource person, both of them, CA Shrishti and CA Manish, both he addressed to you about how you will be compensated during when you're doing the CA and after. Students, please keep in mind when you're doing the CA program, initially as an article clerk, you know, when you're doing the articleship, you may not be earning much. You may be earning 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, or even 8,000 per month, depending upon how big the auditing firm is. But remember, the moment you get the CA title, you immediately start earning in lakhs. And you get a very high paid job. And fortunately now, Shrishti will agree. Now, immediately after the BCom, they can give their final CA also. That's how they have worked. And I therefore request all my students, don't look at what she said during your CA. When you do the 3-year articleship, you will be earning much lower. But remember, the moment you finish your CA, your compensation or your salary will be skyrocketing. That's what you should keep in mind. You may be earning much more than all of us put together, you know, what we are earning. Well, so please be self-motivated for doing your CA program. And I once again thank our resource person from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And also, I would like to place before our students and our resource person a big thank you from the management of our college, as well as from my side and from the faculty and students. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. Thank you. We'll be signing off now.
Yeah, please. You can sign out, students.
Thanks.